Hello, my name is Alison Efford and I'm an Associate Professor of History and an IWL Fall 2024 Fellow at Marquette University. I've been researching how German-American feminist and abolitionist Mathilde Franziska Anneke thought about justice in the case of in Milwaukee, Wisconsin in 1859. Mathilde is fascinating. She was born in 1817 in what is now Germany. As a young woman, she married an abusive man, so she fought hard in the courts to get a divorce. That struggle radicalized her, setting her on a career as a feminist and pro-democracy activist. She fought in the revolutions of 1848 and then had to flee to the United States when those revolutions failed to create a united democratic Germany. In the US, she agitated to abolish slavery and enfranchise women. I'm currently focusing on Mathilde's response to this 1859 assault. Today, feminists think a lot about how to respond. A lot of scholars and activists have written on the shortcomings of the legal system as a source of justice. Often isn't reported or prosecuted, and when it is, the victim often has a terrible experience. At the same time, there's little evidence that locking up perpetrators has made society safer for vulnerable people. Nevertheless, it is a struggle to imagine alternative forms of accountability and safety. I was curious what sort of justice Mathilde imagined. In 1859, Sherman Booth was tried for having illicit intercourse with Caroline Cook, the 14-year-old who babysat his daughters. Mathilde Franziska Anneke was forced to address Sherman's attack because she had a very close relationship with his wife Mary and moved into the Booth household shortly after the attack occurred. So we have unusual documentation of a 19th century feminist responding to. In February of 1859, Caroline had been staying over while Mary was out of town at a wedding. Caroline rejected Sherman's invitations to come up to bed with him about 5 times. But after she went upstairs to where she was supposed to sleep, he came up and overcame her efforts to push him off. He did not contest that account in court, and I am comfortable using the R word, although he was tried under seduction law. What interests me most is how Mathilde responded. She stopped talking to Sherman, and Mary wrote that he was scared of her. She tried to stop Sherman's lawyers from digging up dirt on Caroline. She helped Mary stand firm in her position that Sherman had attacked Caroline. It was Mary who had first gone to Caroline's parents with her suspicions. Despite all of this, Mathilde did not think that throwing Sherman in prison was the answer. So she had a lot in common with scholars and activists today who propose alternatives to the court system for enacting justice. Mathilde Franziska Anneke tried to imagine justice in the Sherman Booth seduction case. She helped ensure that Sherman's political and editing career never recovered. Sherman did face some consequences, although he never accepted responsibility in a meaningful way. And Mathilde's relationship with Mary, her chosen family, created a community of safety for the 2 women and their children. But what about Caroline? Caroline suffered the most. The trial focused on her character. So this child was dragged through the mud. The process ended in a hung jury, and prosecutors never retried the case. Her family had left town within a year. As I work through this material, I'm thinking about the lessons that it holds for justice. It suggests that it is possible for a community to hold perpetrators accountable to some extent, but without perpetrators recognizing some of the harm that they have done, that can fall short. It emphasizes the power of being able to create a family of one's choosing. It reminds us that the hardest and most important thing of all is caring for survivors of assault and including them in any solution.